I've already filmed this once and I lost all the footage. So here we go again. I'm Cheyenne, this is the Book Mermaid. I'm gonna give you the books that I'm reading for the owls. Okay, all right. So if you don't know, the Owls is a Harry Potter based readathon that is like goes around the magical exams that they took in Harry Potter. And it's great, it's done by the Book Roast, it's intense. I've never participated before, this is my first time participating. I'm super excited. Now, I am a competitive bitch. I am a Slytherin and I don't like feeling outnumbered, and there are very few Slytherins in my BookTube social circle. There are, however, a ass ton of Ravenclaws. So while I love them with all my heart, they are my sweet little blue children, I'm going to wipe the floor with them. So my career, what is my career? I forgot. So I didn't pick a career that would go along with like what I do in real life or like what I would think that I might actually want to do in the wizarding world. No, I picked the career that is the hardest. I'm gonna be an alchemist. I did post on Twitter like looking for other Slytherins and I found a couple of them. So if you're a Slytherin on BookTube, let me know because I'm lonely. And we're outnumbered. We must band together. I do love my Ravenclaws and my Hufflepuffs. Not a lot of Gryffindors. I don't even think I know a lot of Gryffindors in my offline life. Do I know any Gryffindors in my offline life? I know a shit ton of Hufflepuffs. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna be an alchemist. So hold on. Oh, and the tripod. It's fine. So in order to pass my owls, I'm gonna read this list because it's a long list. I need to pass Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, Astronomy, Care of Magical Creatures, Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Divination, Herbology, History of Magic, Muggle Studies, Potions, and Transfiguration. Whew! All right, and then if we scroll down to the bottom here, lovely. Found it. Okay, so courses, seminars, and training has been added this year. We have Animagus training, which in order to do this, you'll need to pass Arithmancy, Potions, and Transfiguration, which I will already have if I complete everything for my alchemist training. There is Learn to Operate Locomotive Trains, which you need for Owls, Defense Against the Dark Arts, and Muggle Studies, which I will already have for my career. There's Magical Shop Management, which you need. This has very cursive-y handwriting. Arithmancy, which I will already have. There is also Legal Defense of Fantastic Beasts Seminar, which for Owls, you need Care of Magical Creatures and History of Magic. And then there are my two favorite ones. There is Merpeople Linguistics, which always on brand. So, and for that you need Herbology, which I will already have. So out of all of those, for like with the newts later on, that is the top one I need to achieve. But there's one more that actually would add on to my TBR, and that is Dragon Tamer training. And you need to have a book with a dragon in it. So I've also added that on top of everything else, because like I said, I'm going to achieve all the things. This is my first time doing the owls, so. All right, so we're gonna get into the prompts. I have a stack of books. So instead of going in order, I'm just gonna go what's in the stack because I do have them all marked so I remember which ones for which class I'm doing. And I don't want to organize them. Ancient Runes, Heart Rune, a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. And for that, I have chosen The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This fucking prompt, man. I don't have anything with the heart word or hearts on it. And then I used the spreadsheet that they have to like for people to make suggestions. And someone mentioned that there are hearts on that. Look at it. So, haha, success. If you don't know, The Unhoneymooners is a hate to love romance about a maid of honor and a best man who hate each other, and they end up having to go on the honeymoon because everyone gets food poisoning and have to pretend to be, you know, newlyweds. It's all over BookTube. Herbology. Mimbulus Mimbletonia. A book that starts with M. Did I say that right? I think so. Another difficult prompt. I had one book in my entire collection that started with the letter M, and I had already read it, so it's going to be a reread, but that is a poetry collection called Masquerade by Cyrus Parker. Cyrus Parker is the partner of Amanda Lovelace, who is my favorite poet, and I read this when it came out fucking forever ago. Fuck, when did this book come out? Oh, I say stuff fucking forever ago, but it came out in 2019, so clearly I have a great concept of time. Poetry collections are kind of hard to give a synopsis on, so I'm just gonna read the content warnings of it. Abandonment, alcohol use, death, gender dysphoria, harassment, intimate partner abuse, and potentially more. please remember to practice self-care before, during, and after reading. I really enjoyed it when I read it the first time. I expect I will also enjoy it when I read it again. Potions, Shrinking Solution, a book that is under 150 pages. Another fucking difficult prompt. Again, I only had like 2 books that were under 150 pages, and one of them was a comic that I'm using for something else. And so I picked another poetry collection that I had just recently bought, and that is The Chaos of Longing by K.Y. Robinson. Ignore the sticky crap, I haven't been able to get it off yet. It says revised and expanded. This was on sale at Barnes & Noble a while ago, and I had flipped through it, read a couple of the poems, enjoyed them, picked it up. Because sometimes I'm just really in the mood for poetry. It's always good to have poetry on hand. You can quote me on that. Defense Against the Dark Arts, a book set at the sea or on the coast. And for this, I have chosen Ingo by Helen Dunmore. This is a very old YA novel. When did this come out? I can't remember. It's 2005, I think. Yeah, this book came out in 2005. This is 2005 YA. When I picked this up, I didn't pick it up. It was a gift. I'll explain that in a second. When I was looking it up, I thought this was a middle grade book because of like the size of the book, the font, how the synopsis is written. I very much thought this was a middle grade novel. It's not. It's 2005 YA. So that's gonna be a fucking it's gonna be like going back in time. It's gonna be great. But this is a book about a girl whose father dies. No, he vanishes, sorry, off the coast. And he told her stories of the people of Mur and like the city of Mur, I guess, that they lived in. And now her brother is going missing like for hours on end. And that's basically where the story takes off. This was on a wish list that I have for Peter Pan and Mermaid retellings or stories. And my best friend Michelle bought this for me and sent it to me, which was very nice of her. And it takes place on the coast, the Cornwall coast, where her family has always lived. Good. The tagline of this book is, "In a world without air, all you breathe is adventure." It's gonna be so bad. But I'm trying to read as many mermaid books as I possibly can because there aren't very many good ones. So if I just read lots of them, I'll find the hidden gems a little bit faster. Muggle Studies, a book from the perspective of a Muggle, a contemporary book. And for that, I have chosen Well Met by Jen DeLuca. I just bought this. I'm super fucking excited. It's a romance novel. It's a contemporary book. It is a hate-to-love romance between these 2 people who don't like each other, but they both work in a Renaissance fair and their Renaissance characters flirt with each other. And this is exactly the kind of romance book I'm here for. I'm so fucking pumped. Transfiguration, Animagus Lecture, a book or series that includes shapeshifting. This was also a difficult prompt because how am I supposed to know there's shapeshifting in it unless it's like very clear in the synopsis? So for this, I had to enlist some help, and I got some help from Allie from Diagon Alley 394, and she knew some of the books on my TBR. Actually, Allie has complete access to my entire TBR because we have a TBR cross list with her and Yumi from Yumi the Book Team and for our book club, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books. So we know exactly what we all have, so we can read books together. We're very extra. I love spreadsheets. Anyway, so I'll be reading Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This book I purchased with my best friend, Michelle, who bought me Ingo that I had just mentioned. She and I are going to read this together. I will be informing her of that. She doesn't know yet, surprise. This book is about a girl, a prince, and a monster, according to the inside. Ooh, those are pretty. As far as I know, this book has to do with magic and assassins and star-crossed lovers, I think that's what it said. Star-crossed romance that threatens to tip the scales between dark and light. ... Forever. It's very dramatic. This has been all over BookTube. I'm really excited. Allie really likes it, so. Charms, Lumos Maxima, a book with a white cover. Okay. So, I'm going to make a recommendation before I get into the book that I have chosen for Charms because I have gotten so many people to read this book for this prompt and I'm so fucking excited. Why is my mother coming to my door? My mother wasn't coming to visit me. She was dropping off school lunches to the child upstairs. I wanted to recommend a book because it has a white cover. I think everybody should read it, and that is Red Sister by Margot Lawrence. Who's surprised? This is a book about magical assassin nuns. I highly recommend it. I even more highly recommend the audiobook. It's fantastic. Moving on to my choice, I have picked... Why do I keep hitting the tripod? You're just too close to me. I picked Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill. Nikita Gill is also one of my favorite poets. She wrote Wild Embers, which is basically feminist space poetry. What more could you possibly want? This is Life Lessons from Myths and Monsters. Ugh. So it's kind of like short stories, poems. It's a whole big old collection, and I fucking love her work. So, and it has a mostly white cover. Also, it's just gorgeous. You hear a strange noise. That is my cat rubbing against a cardboard box. History of Magic. Witch Hunts. A book featuring witches or wizards. For this, who's surprised? Nobody. I'm not reading The Bone Witch again. No. I'm actually going to be reading the third one, which is The Shadow Glass. I will be listening to it on audiobook. I do not have a physical copy of it. I do have a physical copy of the second one, but I've already read that one. So if you haven't read these, it's Geisha Necromancers. It's absolutely fucking phenomenal. I do like The Bone Witch more than I like The Heart Forger, but I still loved The Heart Forger. So, but the first one's called The Bone Witch. They're witch-esque. Geisha Necromancers. I'll be reading that for that. Astronomy. Read a book where it's mostly dark outside. And for that, I have chosen The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. A lot of people are rereading this series right now. I can't talk today. I am rereading it for the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books book club that I mentioned earlier. Yumi hadn't read The Hunger Games for a multitude of reasons that she will probably explain in the live show that we have here on Yumi's channel. You should watch it. It's gonna be a great time. But I need to read this. This is our April book, and I'm super fucking pumped for it. So, if you don't know what The Hunger Games is, it's a dystopian novel. It's like the dystopian novel about a girl who ends up joining in on the Hunger Games through a lottery, and they all have to kill each other, and the last one standing wins. That's a really quick and vague synopsis. Also on brand. Divination. Assign numbers to your TBR and then use a random number generator to pick what you read. I did this a little differently. So I counted all my books and then I went to Twitter and said the first person who comments on this with a number between this and this, that will be the book that I read. I did remove all the sequels from my shelf before I did that because I'm not gonna read the second one in the series before I read the first one. That's just dumb. And the book that got picked was A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab. Yumi from Yumi the Book Demon is going to be so fucking excited. I have not read anything Victoria Schwab ever. So here we go. This is about multiple Londons and a gentleman who can go between the Londons. Black London, Red London, Grey London, and White London. I guess there's different levels of magic within the Londons. That's really all I know about it. I know that you should probably go into a lot of Victoria Schwab books not expecting too much. So we'll see. We'll see. I own all three of them. I just haven't read them yet. Care of Magical Creatures. Hippogriffs. A book with a creature that has a beak on the cover. And for that, I have chosen Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Jeezum. This was a gift. It was a gift from Diana from Paperback Jedi's boyfriend because I forbade her from purchasing me any more gifts, so she got her boyfriend too. So thank you, Kyle, for this book. It's super short. I'm super excited about it. What is it about? I can't even remember. Oh, I remember now. So this is a book about a girl who paints very well, and the fair folk can't do like artistic things. So she's painting this prince and she paints sorrow in his eyes, and he gets all super like pissed off or whatever and like takes her to stand trial for doing that, and it all kind of goes off from there. I am really excited about this. I really love Sorcery of Thorns by her, and this is shorter, so, and definitely has a beak on the cover. Caw, motherfucker. Arithmancy, balance of opposites. Read a book that's outside of your genre. And for that, I have chosen Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. This was a gift from a girl who is basically my sister. Her name is Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. This is also really short. She gave this to me for Christmas. It's a non-fiction book. It says stop believing the lies about who you are so you can be who you were meant to be. Okay, that's all the classes. We only have one more, and that is the dragon book, and for that I've also chosen the only book that I know that I have a dragon in it, and it is also a reread, and that is The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. I've already read this. This is a graphic novel about dragons who are like, they're literal tea dragons. So like there's a chamomile dragon, which is my favorite. Let's see, I'll show you. Look at it! Oh! But it has a lot of representation in here, and the pages are fucking gorgeous. Just, ugh. And this will be a really quick read, and I've already read it, so that'll be really easy. So that's it. That is my O.W.Ls TBR. Let me know down below what you're reading, if you're gonna be reading Red Sister by Mark Lawrence for your Charms book, and what your house is, because if you're a Slytherin, I need to know. We need to band together. Thank you. Don't forget that I absolutely do love my Ravenclaw friends. I will link everything down below. Have a great day.